Hi, scholars. We're going to continue reading our story. We are on the top of page 32. The children are trying to cook a dinner, and their neighbor, Justice Strauss, has just come over to check on them. So we'll start where it says, "How interesting," which actually is right here in the middle of this paragraph at the very top of the page there. All right, here we go. How interesting. Although, of course, there is no way that Sunny could understand what was being said. Justice Strauss looked down at Sunny and laughed. "Yika indeed," she said, and reached down to pat the child on the head. Sunny took Justice Strauss's hand and bit it gently. "That means she likes you," Violet explained. "She bites very, very hard if she doesn't like you, or if you want to give her a bath." "I see," Justice Strauss said. "Now then, how are you children getting on? Is there anything you desire?" The children looked at one another, thinking of all the things they desired. Another bed, for example, a proper crib for Sunny, curtains for the windows in their room, a closet instead of a cardboard box. But what they desired most of all, of course, was not to be associated with Count Olaf in any way whatsoever. What they desired most was to be with their parents again in their true home, but that, of course, was impossible. Violet, Klaus, and Sunny all looked down at the floor unhappily as they considered the question. Finally, Klaus spoke. "Could we perhaps borrow a cookbook?" he said. "Count Olaf has instructed us to make dinner for his theater troupe tonight, and we can't find a cookbook in the house." "Goodness," Justice Strauss said. "Cooking dinner for an entire theater troupe seems like a lot to ask of children." "Count Olaf gives us a lot of responsibility," Violet said. What she wanted to say was, "Count Olaf is an evil man," but she was well-mannered. "Well, why don't you come next door to my house," Justice Strauss said, "and find a cookbook that pleases you?" The youngsters agreed and followed Justice Strauss out the door and over to her well-kept house. She led them through an elegant hallway smelling of flowers into an enormous room. And then when they saw what was inside, they nearly fainted from delight, Klaus especially. The room was a library, not a public library, but a private library. That is, a large collection of books belonging to Justice Strauss. There were shelves and shelves of them on every wall from the floor to the ceiling, and separate shelves and shelves of them in the middle of the room. The only place there weren't books was in one corner where there were some large, comfortable-looking chairs and a wooden table with lamps hanging over them, perfect for reading. Although it was not as big as their parents' library, it was as cozy, and the Baudelaire children were thrilled. "My word," Violet said, "this is a wonderful library." "Thank you very much," Justice Strauss said. "I've been collecting books for years, and I'm very proud of my collection. As long as you keep them in good condition, you are welcome to use any of my books at any time. Now the cookbooks are over here on the eastern wall. Shall we have a look at them?" "Yes," Violet said. "And then, if you don't mind, I should love to look at your books concerning mechanical engineering. Inventing things is a great interest of mine." "And I would like to look at your books on wolves," Klaus said. "Recently, I've been fascinated by the subject of wild animals in North America." "Books!" Sunny shrieked, which meant, "Please don't forget to pick out a picture book for me." Justice Strauss smiled. "It is a pleasure to see young people interested in books," she said. "But first I think we better find a good recipe, don't you?" The children agreed, and for 30 minutes or so they perused several cookbooks that Justice Strauss recommended. To tell you the truth, the 3 orphans were so excited to be out at Count Olaf's house and in this pleasant library that they were a little distracted and unable to concentrate on cooking. But finally, Klaus found a dish that sounded delicious and easy to make. "Listen to this," he said. Puttanesca. It's an Italian sauce for pasta. All we need to do is saute olives, capers, anchovies, garlic, chopped parsley, and tomatoes together in a pot and prepare spaghetti to go with it." "That sounds easy," Violet agreed, and the Baudelaire orphans looked at one another, perhaps with the kind Justice Strauss and her library